Welcome back to Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and what I'd like to do in this segment is talk a little bit about some of my favorite gold mining shares, and specifically I'd like to talk about 6 different companies that I highlighted in my weekly newsletter that was published on September 19th. You know, I just came back from a conference at Beaver Creek, Colorado. It was a conference in which junior mining companies, and I would say for the most part the better ones out there, were talking about their projects and bringing investment analysts up to speed on their projects. And I must say that for all the many years, 35 plus years I've been in this business, I have never seen so many outstanding, undervalued junior gold mining companies as I am seeing now. And keep in mind that the gold shares have been so demolished, for whatever reasons, they've been trashed so thoroughly that those companies that are producing profits or have very strong possibilities of doing so, I think, are going to provide enormously attractive returns for investors. As I look at the S&P TSX Gold International Gold Share Index, I'm realizing that the gold shares on average are trading at lows where they were trading when gold was below $500, even below $400. Meantime, these companies, many of them have done extremely well in establishing viable economic projects. And so I'd like to talk to you about the 5 or actually 6 companies that I mentioned in this week's newsletter, and I hope to do the same thing next week actually, to tell you on the radio show about the companies that I've just covered in my weekly newsletter. The first company I'd like to mention is Eurasian Minerals. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange symbol EMXX, also trades in Toronto under the symbol EMX. 73.1 million shares outstanding. Recent price of only 66 cents. It had hit a high of $3.50 in 2011. But this is a project generator company with over 70 different projects and prospects around the world. And the main catalyst that I see for this company now, what I think could very quickly double the share price, is the possibility of selling off a 22.4% interest in one of the largest undeveloped copper gold projects in the world, and that is in Russia. Freeport-McMoRan is the operator on this project that has 13 billion pounds of copper and 14 million ounces of gold, with just 4 of 14 targets yet explored. The project is located on the Chinese border, and concentrates can be shipped by way of river to a Chinese smelter. So it seems perfect for Chinese acquisition. And what is happening geopolitically should enhance the prospects of Eurasian Minerals selling off this project, which it paid only $7.8 million for its 22.4% interest. If this company sells its interest, you can expect the price that it fetches will be substantially more than the $48 million market cap that it currently has. In other words, the company would bring in cash or some equivalent of cash that would be equal to its current share price. This is one I think in addition has a lot of royalties that are coming in, growing royalty stream in Nevada from a project operated by Newmont. It is one of my favorite project generators. Eurasian Minerals, again traded New York Stock Exchange. EMXX is the symbol. Of course, a rising gold price will lift all of these boats, all of the companies I'm about to talk about. And that, more than anything else, is what should really trigger a rise in this entire sector. The second company I'd like to mention is Silvercrest Mines. Now, this is sort of a mix between gold and silver. Trades on the New York Stock Exchange, symbol SVLD. 118.7 million shares outstanding at $1.75, giving it a market cap of $208 million. This is one of the lowest cost silver producers out there. If you apply the gold as a credit, the cost for producing silver last year, or actually the last quarter, was $7.66, which is slightly lower than the prior quarter. The catalyst for this company's share price, I believe, is a growing production that is coming from an underground mining operation now in conjunction with its open pit heap leaching operation. One of the things I really like about Silvercrest is that management has always done what it says it's going to do. It is reliable, and it is a growing company, $1.75. I think this could easily be a $5 stock or a $10 stock even in the bull market in the gold and silver space. A third company I'd like to mention is Gold Source Mines, Inc. Now, this is really what I like to call baby Silvercrest, because Gold Source Mines is actually put together by the same management team that operates Silvercrest Mines. Again, that management team has always delivered on its promises. Goldquest is operating, I should mention its symbol is GXS. Over the counter you can buy it, as I have, under the symbol GXSFF, as in Frank. GXSFF. 79.1 million shares outstanding, 22 cents, gives it a market cap of $17 million only. Now again, this company is operating in Guyana, and it has the same management as that put together very successfully Silvercrest Mines. And the model here is to start small and cash flow grow the company. So from production, rather than issuing shares or taking out big bank loans, grow the company with cash flow. And that is what this management team did so effectively with Silvercrest. I believe it will accomplish the same thing again with Gold Source Mines in Guyana, South America. The company is really interested only in the saprolites, the saprolite mineralization. That's the weathered surface mineralization, which is very cheap to mine. There's an extensive amount of that on their property in Guyana. They do have hard rock mineralization there as well. There are companies that produce that from the hard rock in Guyana, lower grade, near surface hard rock. But this company is going to stay focused on the saprolites, which it's very confident it can make money, again at very, very low cost of operation on a per gold ounce basis. So from its recent price of 22 cents, I could easily see this company becoming a 10-bagger, a tenfold increase, especially if we get a rise in the gold price. But I'm saying that simply because if the management is able to execute its business plan, and again, this is a management team that has been effective in doing what it says it's going to do, then I think very easily you could see a 22-cent stock become a $2.20 stock in the not-too-distant future. Again, let me remind you that I've commented more extensively about these companies in my last newsletter, in the September 19th, 2014 newsletter, and you can get a copy of that if you subscribe to my newsletter. Go to miningstocks.com, sign up for my newsletter, and you can see my written report. Klondex Mines, really love this one, trades in Canada under the symbol KDS. You can buy it in the United States under the symbol KLNDF. That's KLN as in Nancy, D as in David, F as in Frank. 121.5 million shares outstanding. $1.80 last traded, and it gives it a market cap of $218 million. Now the big news for this company was its acquisition of the Midas Mill in Nevada, about 100 miles away from its Fire Creek property. But it also, in addition to picking up the Midas Mill, picked up the Midas Mine. And this has given the company access to a mill whenever it needs it. And it's actually producing on a regular basis now from its high-grade Fire Creek deposit. Now this is ore that in many instances grades well over 1 ounce per ton. And so the cost of moving that ore 100 miles north to the Midas Mill is not prohibitive. In fact, the company turned its first profit and is doing very, very well. I expect this to be a growth situation. Again, very much like the other two companies I just mentioned a moment ago. This is a company I expect will grow organically internally, and it should be able to mix, as it has been doing, actually mixing its ore from both the Midas Mine and the Fire Creek Mine. The Midas Mine right next door to the Midas Mill, of course. This should be, as I say, a very low-cost producer with incredibly high grades, and it has lots and lots of exploration potential. I really like what I see with Klondex Mines, and I think you should check it out. Again, traded Toronto TSX on the Toronto Exchange under the symbol KDS, and in the United States under the symbol KLNDF. Still another company, and the last one I'm going to mention is Pretium Resources. Pretium is perhaps the highest grade gold mine in the world. It could become that. It isn't yet in production. Traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol PVG. Also trades in Toronto under that same symbol. 116.8 million shares at $6 gives it a market cap of $700 million. But as I say, it's incredibly high grade. There's 8.7 million ounces of gold in the measured and indicated category that grades 17.6 grams per ton. There's another 4.9 million ounces in the inferred category that grades 25.6 grams per ton. The economics of this project looked extremely robust. I think the catalyst for this company primarily is a higher gold price. We see this stock moving very dramatically with a rise or a fall in the gold price. It's very, very sensitive to the gold price, even though its cost of production will be very low. This is a company clearly when the gold price goes up, all that moves right to the bottom line, and the market really loves this stock on rising gold prices. The company is at advanced stage. It's through its feasibility study. It is moving towards construction, all the permitting and environmental studies and all that is required to be done, and they are moving towards production. This is one of my favorites, Pretium Resources, Pretium Resources, New York Stock Exchange, PVG is the symbol. So there's a whole lot of companies that I think are very, very exciting to keep your eyes on, and I am watching these. I have never been as excited as I am now about the junior gold mining sector. Keep in mind that the gold price that these companies are tied to is that fraudulent gold price that David Jensen and I talk about. What you really need to do more and more is ignore the gold price that is quoted every day in our press, because it is a paper gold price, and in the meantime there's enormous amounts of physical gold that's being bought around the world. And as this geopolitical situation straightens itself out, I think it's only a matter of time before we're going to start to see more and more Americans and people in the Western world starting to realize that the emperor is wearing no clothes, that the United States and the Anglo-American Empire and NATO is really bankrupt. This financial system is Humpty Dumpty on the wall, and this is not a good situation. So you need to own gold, and I'm suggesting that gold mining shares is one place, one way, in a diversified portfolio that you want to be. Keep in mind that during the 1930s, the gold mining companies did extremely well. The main thing to keep your eye on from a macro point of view is if the real price of gold is rising relative to other items. So if profit margins rise, then the gold mining companies will be doing very, very well. So whether the nominal price goes up or down is irrelevant. It's what does the gold price do relative to the cost of getting it out. And I, in that regard, am extremely bullish, because I think it's only a matter of time before the world starts to realize that the financial system is really much sicker than anything that the financial mainstream press is talking about. So I think that now is the time to really focus on gold mining shares in my portfolio. I've tried to hold 25 to 35% in cash so that I can continue to pick up gold shares. I'm looking at some shorting strategies right now, because I do think, for reasons I've outlined earlier in today's show, the equity market is very, very vulnerable right now. And at the same time, if we look back at the gold shares, they're trading, it's hard to see the gold shares going a lot lower. They're trading back at where they were when gold is $400 to $450, which is why I think that the gold shares and the silver shares are poised for dramatic rises in the not too distant future. I'm suggesting by the end of this year, I want to have a much heavier position in the gold shares and a smaller cash position. Again, you can subscribe to my newsletter at miningstocks.com, and you can also sign up for Chen Lin's letter there, but you do need to put your name on the waiting list for Chen Lin. Go there and sign up for my letter, miningstocks.com, and or put your name on the waiting list for Chen's letter, and Chen will be accepting new subscribers during the first 10 business days, or actually the first 10 days of October, coming up in just a little less than a month. Well, next week, in the first hour of my show, I expect to be talking to fund manager Adrian Day, as well as Greg Johnson. He's the president and CEO of Wellgreen Platinum. And I also expect to have David Jensen, as well as Daniel McAdams with me. That's all for this week. Until next week, goodbye, and God's blessings to you.